Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley and this is another bookish video. Hello, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be going through my 26 in 2026 TBR, and I am taking the prompts from Breeze from Four Paws in the Books video that she did for this type of video, and she had different categories for to choose the 26 books that she was going to prioritize in 2026. So I took that as well because I thought it was a great idea and I loved a lot of the prompts. I think I changed the last one a little bit. There was 5 intimidating books, 6 backlist books, 7 books from series I need to continue, and then 8, I think she did 8 special editions, but I'm doing just 8 books from book boxes, like book of the month and aardvark. So there are 8 books from my aardvark or book of the month books, boxes. So that is my categories for this, and I'm excited to read all of these, and I'm hoping I can get to them. These are ones that I wanted to get to in 2025 but could not get to for whatever reason, being a reading slump, or just I was not prioritizing them like I should have been. And I wrote them all down here and kind of color coded them, and also I have them in the categories here, just so it's easier for me to reference and talk about them. So I will first go over the 5 books that intimidate me, and that could just mean because of length or just because I've heard really good things about them and it intimidated me, or I read a book previously from this author and I'm intimidated by what my thoughts will be on this other book that I'll be reading. But I can get more into that as I go through the books. And there are 26 books here, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first category is 5 intimidating books, and this is that stack right here. And as you can see, it is a lot of thicker books because that is kind of what intimidates me, especially with me gonna be going being in school. I won't have time for a lot of these, a lot of thicker books, so they scare me a bit on if I will be able to get through them. But these ones I'm very excited about. The first one I have on this list is actually one because and actually, spoiler for what will be on my favorites list of the year, but I read Blood Over Brighthaven this year and absolutely loved it. It was one of my favorite books of 2025, and so I'm very intimidated to read this because I don't know if I will love it the same or more than Blood Over Brighthaven, but I've heard really good things about this one as well, so I'm excited to get to it. But it is also really it's bigger than Blood Over Brighthaven as well. This one is over 600 pages as I'm kind of scanning through this. So I'm a little intimidated by this, and I feel I will love it, but it just scares me a bit, and I might need a push to pick it up because yeah, I'm scared that I won't love it as much as I did Blood Over Brighthaven. Next intimidating book is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, and this one is kind of short, but the series overall is massive, and I've heard great things about this whole series. But I have heard that there are some of the books that kind of are harder to get through than others, and especially it is tougher to get through this one because it is the start of the series. So I'm just intimidated to start this series because I don't know if it'll live up to the hype for me. And like I said, it is a lot of books to get through. So very intimidated by this one, but I do really want to get to it in 2026. Like that is my goal, is to start the Robin Hobb universe. So yeah, very excited for this one. The third intimidating book I have is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. And I'm intimidated by this because I have never read a Kristen Hanna before. Two, I have not read historical fiction in a while, so I don't know if I'll love it as much as I once did. And three, it is a thicker book, so I am very intimidated by the size of this. But I've heard wonderful things about this, and I kind of want to get into historical fiction again. So I want to try to prioritize this book in 2026. I'm just very intimidated by the size of this and if it will live up to the hype because so many people love this book. Next intimidating book is The Reformatory by Tanarive Due. And again, this is another one where I am intimidated by the size of it, like the length. And also, I am not again, this is a historical horror, historical horror book. And again, it's like not my typical genre, so that intimidates me a bit. But I've heard wonderful things about this. And also, I'm again nervous that if it will live up to the hype for me. But I've been wanting to read this for a while, like ever since I received it, and have heard great things about it. So I definitely want to prioritize this in 2026. And this is also one that I might be using for my winter bingo TBR. So hopefully I can get to this in like the beginning months of 2026. All right, and then the last intimidating book I have on my 26 and 2026 TBR is The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. This is a fantasy, and I think it has a little like a subplot of romance, and this just intimidates me again, like all of them. The size and length of the book, like that always intimidates me because I always lately I've been reading just quick short books. So when I get to these longer books that are more I don't know, the dense maybe is the word that I'm thinking, I just get nervous that it'll be hard for me to get through. But I've heard wonderful things about this from a couple of my friends. Recently they've said wonderful things about it, so it makes me excited to read it. But again, I'm also nervous to get to it, again, because of the size, and also I am more of a fantasy, romance, and romance reader. So, and I feel like this is more fantasy heavy. So that makes me nervous as well. You'll actually see a lot of more fantasy heavy books on my 2026 TBR because I want to try, I've had some on my TBR forever, but I just prioritize more romance books. But now, 2026, I want to get to my more, fantasy, leaning books. But I also still want to read, romantasy. But anyway, this is my last intimidating book, but I'm also very excited to pick it up, hopefully in 2026. All right, next category is backlist books. So books that have been on my physical TBR for quite some time now. Some of these have been on my physical TBR for a few years now. So I definitely need to try to prioritize them in 2026. And the first book I have is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Hemmer. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I am shocked that I have not read this yet. This is young adult, and I have kind of been limiting myself on young adult books that I've been reading, but I'm still, like, I love Beauty and the Beast retellings, so I still want to read this, especially since I own all 3 books in this trilogy. So yeah, I want to try to prioritize this, and I feel like this will be a quick read because it is young adult, and I don't think it is too terribly long. Okay, it is close to 500 pages, but it's less than 500 pages. But I feel like it will be a quick read, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. So I'm very excited to hopefully prioritize it in the next year. Next book, backlist book, is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Maurin. I am so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. It follows a witch and a winch hunter, I believe. And I loved Heartless Hunter, which follows like the same kind, like it's a witch and winch hunter. So I don't know, and this came out before, like several years ago, and I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet. I've heard good things about it when it first came out. I don't know why I just did not prioritize this one. It sounds like it will be a lot of fun. It is a young adult again, but like I said, I loved Heartless Hunter, which is kind of like it has like the same kind of like the same like theme, like, or follows like the same like form, like it's a like follows witch hunter, which I really enjoyed for Heartless Hunters. So I feel like I will really enjoy this one. Again, this is a little bit of a longer one too, but not too long. This one is over 500 pages, but again, I feel like this will be a quick read. And yeah, it's just time for me to prioritize this because again, like A Curse So Dark and Lonely, I own the other 2 books in this trilogy as well. So definitely need to prioritize this in 2026. Next backlist book is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. And I actually tried reading this, I think it was not this year, but the year before. And I put it down and just never picked it back up for whatever reason. I don't know why. I was really, really enjoying it. And yeah, I just like put it down, forgot about it, was reading other things. But I think now is the time to prioritize this because I think it was the 3rd or 4th book just came out. And I think there is another book coming out after that, which is fine. Like I'll just read this first book and see how I like it and then continue on. I'm not sure how like the other books end and if like I'll regret starting this before all the books are out. But I've been wanting to read this for so long. Like this is like a King Arthur kind of like retelling, and I was really, really enjoying it. Oh, like my bookmark is still in there, if you can tell. So like I got pretty far into it. Yeah, chapter 21. I just don't know why I put it down because like I said, I was really enjoying it. So this is definitely a must read for me in 2026 because I want to finish it. I will probably end up like restarting it, but that's okay. But yeah, I'm very excited to try to prioritize this one in 2026. Next backlist book is Jade City by Fonda Lee. I've been wanting to read this series for so long because I've heard nothing but good things about it. But this one is another one that kind of intimidates me. If I wasn't limited to like only 5 intimidating books, this would definitely be on there because I definitely am intimidated by this one. 1, the length, and 2, because I don't read fantasy like this very often. So yeah, it just makes me nervous. But like I said, I've heard very good things about this trilogy. So very excited to read this in 2026. It will happen. This is another one I started but then put it down for whatever reason. That is a habit I do. I need to cut that habit in 2026. I need to just read one book at a time and not pick up any others until I pick up or finish the book that I'm working on, because this is a habit where I will start reading a book and then forget about it and then pick up whatever other book and then finish those. And then by the time I'm like thinking about this, I'm like, well, now I'm gonna have to restart it because I forgot everything that I read before. So yeah, that is definitely a goal in 2026, is to try to stick to reading one book at a time. But yeah, this is definitely a priority to read in 2026. Next backlist book I have is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I've heard really great things about this trilogy. This is, oh, hey, plot twist. This is another one I read started several years ago and then never, or put it down and never picked it back up again. So I will have to restart this one again as well, because this was like a few years ago and I just haven't like felt the need to pick it up for whatever reason. But it will happen in 2026. It will happen because I've heard nothing but good things about this trilogy and I want to read it. As you can tell, see, this is what I mean. I have a lot of like fantasy books on this TBR. But yeah, I'm very excited to finally, hopefully, crossing my fingers, get to this trilogy in 2026. All right, and then the last backlist book I have on my 2026 TBR is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I've had this sitting on my shelf for years, and I don't know why I haven't like picked it up. This is a like Middle Eastern fantasy story, and that's all I really know about it. It's a fantasy, of course, but yeah, I've heard good things about it, and I also own the other, I think it's a trilogy. Yeah, I own the other two books in this series as well. So again, I need to prioritize it since I own the other books in this trilogy as well. And I haven't even picked this one up. So it's not like the others where like I like started it and just didn't finish. Like I haven't even picked this up to like try it. So definitely a priority in 2026. All right, next up we're going to be talking about the 7 books or book series that I'm in the middle of that I have not completed or like tried to complete in 2025 yet. First up is, so I'm still on the second book, but it's out in the other room, so I just have this as a placeholder. But I need to finish the second book in this series and then move on to the other books in this series. I at least want to get through, I'm going to say at least through book 5 in 2026. I don't know, there's over 20 books in this series. And I was trying to read like one a month, but I like completely fell off on that. And so in 2026, I want to try to at least read, actually, you know what? I'm going to say 6. At least to book 6, because I'm on book 2 now and I'm in the middle of book 2. So I want to read book 2 and then get through at least 3 through 6 in 2026. So that I can like make a dent in this series. But I think this is either book 3 or 4. I don't know which one. I have 2 here. I don't know if this one is 3 or this one is 3 and vice versa, like 4. But I know that I think these are books 3 and 4. I just don't know which one is which right now, and it doesn't say on the spine like the numbers. But I know these are the next 2 up after I finish the second one. So yeah, this is a series I want to complete, or at least like get through a little bit through in 2026. Another series that I want to continue and get through, not the whole thing because these are chunkers of books, but at least finish the second book and maybe get to book 4. Like, I think I want to finish book 2 and 3 in 2026, especially book 2 since I started it. I might need to restart it maybe. But yeah, I got over 200 pages into this second book, but I have not finished it. It is a chunker of book. There's over 900 pages of this, and I've already read 200, so, and I still have, or five, it's like 700 pages left. It's a chunker. But I really enjoyed Outlander, so I really want to continue this series. But like I said, these are chunkers, so I do not know if I will get through more than like 2 of them. I might get to book 4, like through book 4, but I am not like going to like put that on my like like for sure I'm gonna get through that in 2026, because also like I'm in school too, so I honestly don't know. Like I might even just finish this one and maybe start book 3, but we will see. I definitely want to try to prioritize this series in 2026. Next series I need to continue in 2026 is Brimstone. Well, it's a sequel to Quicksilver. I loved Quicksilver. I read it in the beginning of 2025 and gave it 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. I just have not had time. This came out in November, I believe, and I just have not had time to read it yet. So this is probably going to be a big priority to read in the beginning of 2026. I don't know if I'll get to it in January, but definitely try to get to it in like February or March, sometime in the beginning of 2026, because I've been like dying to see what happens in this next book. And also, this is stunning, like the orange. Oh, I did kind of try to start it, but then I just knew I would not have time, especially with the length of it, and I really wanted to like focus on this book, and I just couldn't in the month of December or like November when it came out. So yeah, I will definitely be prioritizing this in 2026. Next series I need to continue, but also this is kind of like a start of a new duology or new series, but it's still part of the world, so I'm counting it, and that is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadwent. This is book 1 of the Shadowborn duet, but it's book 3 in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. And I don't know why I have not gotten to this. Book 4 came out in August, or like the sequel to this one came out in August, and I have not read it yet. I don't know why. But yeah, I've been wanting to read this and I just haven't, because I loved the other duology, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and like the sequel to that. Loved those. Both 5 stars. I do not know why I haven't like prioritized this one yet, because yeah, I'm very excited to get back into this world. So yeah, this is definitely a priority in 2026. Next up is the 3rd book in the Flames and Thorns series, which is a fantasy romance series that I have like fallen in love with this year. The first book was, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name of the first book. But I will post like the first book here, a picture of the first book here. But I absolutely loved that book, and I love the second book even more. And the way it ended, I'm surprised I did not pick up this 3rd book yet. But I am definitely prioritizing it in 2026 because I really want to continue. And also the 4th book just came out, and I think the 5th and final book comes out in 2026. So I definitely need to continue this series so I can like complete the whole like series like as it comes out. Because yeah, I have loved this series so much. That first book, like I just loved it. Like I love what's his name? I am so bad at remembering names. Oh, okay. So the first book is Empire of Flame and Thorns. Then it's Throne of Ice and Blood, and then this is the 3rd book. What is his name now? So Selena is the main female character, and then, oh my gosh, it doesn't even say his name on the back. And I do not want to read anything on the back because I don't want to like say spoilers for like the whole series. But anyway, loved this series. This I feel like is better than Fourth Wing to me. Like I fell in love with it that much. I loved it so much. Like if you liked Fourth Wing and love like dragon shifters and like fae and like just fantasy romance, like enemies to lovers, definitely pick up this series because it is so fun. Like I love it so much. So yeah, anyway, I am like rambling about this series too much. I definitely will be prioritizing this and the rest of the books in 2026. The next series I have is Beasts of the Briar Book 3. I read the first book, 2 books, the beginning of this year, and then just never picked up the 3rd book for whatever reason. I think because it was after I found out they were getting traditionally published, and I think like the date of like the like last book or 5th book was getting like pushed back. So I was like, I kind of want to like slow down reading them just in case like book 4 ends on like a cliffhanger and book 5 wasn't out yet. So I kind of like slowed reading them a little bit. But I definitely want to prioritize them again in 2026 because book 5 does come out in 2026. So yeah, I definitely want to. This is a Why Choose like Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I absolutely love it. Like it starts out as like a like really like accurate Beauty and the Beast retelling just with more love interests, but then it grows into so much more. Like book 2 was amazing. Like the expanded world and everything, like I loved it, and I can't wait for book 3. I also have book 4 somewhere too, which I will also be reading in 2026. But yeah, I am so excited for this one and like to see where this goes. I might need a recap of the other 2, or at least of the second one, and how it ended. But yeah, I am very excited to get to this in 2026. All right, and lastly is a series that will probably require me to reread the other books because it's been a while. I don't know why I keep pushing this off, but I definitely will be probably rereading these books throughout 2026. I was gonna try to like binge read them all again, but I don't think that will happen. But I will be rereading this series throughout the year so that I can finally pick up book 8 of Zodiac Academy. I finished book 7, I think it was like 3 years ago now. Yeah, I think it was like 3 years ago, or maybe 2 years, almost 3 years. I think it was the beginning of 2023 that I like binge read books 1 through 7. And then I was like waiting like that rest of the year for book 8 to come out. And then book 8 came out, and I just did not prioritize it at all. And now we're here in the end of 2025, and I'm like forgetting like a lot of the stuff that happened in this like series. So I am going to be rereading this series throughout 2026 to get through book 8, and then I have 9 as well, and then there's also like all the other books in this world that I want to read as well. So yeah, I have a lot of reading to do for this. And again, this is a chunker, but I feel like I like read books 1 through 7 really quickly. So I think I can get through them fairly quickly. I just don't know how I will like spread out like the series. There is 9 books, and then there's also like the other, so maybe I will do like one a month, but I'm not sure yet. Anyway, I really want to get to book 8 because it's been sitting on my TBR for a while, and I've just heard really good things about how like this whole series. So yeah, definitely want to prioritize it in 2026. Okay, we're on the final category, and I think I'm gonna just go through these fairly quickly. I'm not gonna go over like synopsis or anything. And this is my like book of the month and aardvark like stack. And first up, I have The Scholar and the Last Fairy Door by H.G. Perry. I wanted to read this in this year, but never got to it, and I really want to. It just sounds really good. I think it's like a historical fantasy, and I've been really wanting to read it, so definitely a priority in 2026. Next up, I have The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. This is a fantasy romance that I got through Book of the Month that I just haven't prioritized. And I think it is because it's a Book of the Month book and they're like on a separate shelf, and I sometimes will forget that I have those there. So then I don't prioritize it. But I've heard really good things about this. I think it's a duology. I know the second book came out. I can't remember if there's going to be a third book or not. But yeah, I've heard really good things about it, so I'm excited to get to this one. Next up, I have Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. I've had this sitting on my Book of the Month TBR for a while, like quite some time now. It came out in 2021, and it's going to be 2026, so it's been a while. I know this follows a black father and a white father, and their two sons die, and they're on a quest for revenge. And I'm pretty sure that the sons were like together, like in a relationship. I am not sure. I think that's what it is. Like the two sons are gay, and then they were murdered, and now the two fathers are out for revenge, and that's all I really know. I know I said I wasn't going to say synopsis, but here I am saying a synopsis. But yeah, I have been wanting to read this for a while, so this is going on my 2026 TBR. Next up, I have The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. This also came out in 2021, and I just have not prioritized it yet. It's I think it's a historical fantasy again, and it follows an apothecary and witches and things, I think. And I just have been wanting to read it for a while now, so I want to try to prioritize it in 2026. Next up, I have a romance that I am surprised I have not gotten to it, and that is Love on the Brain by Allie Hazelwood. I really enjoyed The Love Hypothesis when I read it, and I just have not picked this one up for whatever reason, and it came out in 2022. I also want to read Deep End, and I also need to finish Mate, which I will try to finish by the end of the year, but I don't think it will happen. We're already less than 2 days away until the end of the year, and I have not finished Mate yet. And I also want to read Deep End, but I want to prioritize this one for 2026 because it's been sitting on my TBR the longest. So yeah, Love on the Brain is going on my 26 and 2026 TBR. Next up, I have Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, which is a young adult romantasy, historical fantasy romance, and it follows this girl and guy, they send letters to each other, I believe, and it's kind of like a enemies to lovers situation, and then that's all I really know. But I heard really good things about it, and I've been wanting to read it for a while, so it's going on my 2026 TBR. Next up, I have The Resurrectionist by A. Ray Dunlap, which is it says it's a love story, and I think it follows medical students, which I want to read because I'm in school to be a surgical tech, So I think this is perfect to read in 2026. Maybe I'll learn something that I'm learning in in school. This did come out this year, but yeah, it's a debut novel and it's a dark academia that takes place in the early 19th century. And yeah, it follows a young medical student who is lured into the underworld of body snatching. It sounds interesting, and I've been wanting to read it since I got it. So yeah, it's definitely a priority in 2026. And then the last book on my 26 and 2026 TBR, and probably one of them that I'm like the most excited to read, and that is When the Tides Held the Moon by Vanessa Vida Kelly. I have been wanting to read this since I got it because it just sounds right up my alley on something I would love. It is I think people have said if you are a fan of, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name now. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on the name of the movie? The Greatest Showman. If you're a fan of The Greatest Showman, you'll really like this. And then I think The Greatest Showman, and they compared it to something else as well, but now I can't remember. But it follows a human man and a merman, and they end up falling in love, and I am just so excited to prioritize this in 2026 because I have been wanting to read this since I've been wanting to read it since I got it, and I've heard really good things about it. And yeah, I don't know why I have not read it yet. This is probably the one of the books that I'm most excited for to get to in 2026. So yeah, very excited for this, and this is an aardvark book. So I know a lot of these, I think, yeah, 5 of them out of the 8 were book of the month, and then 3 were aardvark books. So yeah, they're all box books that I want to prioritize. But yeah, this one, especially out of these 8, this one I'm the most excited for. All right, so that was a lot of books to go through. And that was my 26 books that I want to read in 2026. Thank you so much for watching this. I know it was a lot to get through. Please let me know what book you are prioritizing in 2026, or leave a book stack emoji so I know that you've been here if you don't feel like talking. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.